warriors come out to play. Warriors.
Yo, what's good? It's Turban Tuesday, crypto and down. It's Asherel here with Jams Jetson. Shout out to all of y'all watching out there, YouTube, on our channel, the Gentleman of Crypto's channel. Appreciate you checking with us on a nice, fine Turban Tuesday afternoon. Jams Jetson, how's it going, man?
Yo. Shout out to all the crypto rascals out there. Shout out to the crypto warriors over on the Gentleman of Crypto channel. It's an honor to be with you again on Turban Tuesday, September the 27th. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is the news that you can use, and someone else may also be able to use it as well. If you have never tuned into Crypto and Down before, we'd like to start with crypto and work our way down into other topics, including politics, sports, entertainment, and current events. Follow our Facebook page at Crypto and Down. We are live there right now. You can follow us on Instagram at Crypto and Down. We have a few of our NFTs that we've held posted there, as well as some clips. You can follow us on Twitter at Crypto and Down. Do like to have conversations on our Twitter, so interact with us there. If you want to find us, we will definitely respond back. Check out our NFT collection or our latest NFT moves, or even our past historical NFT moves over at OpenSea.io/crypto and down. Brother Asherel, how you feeling today, man?
Pretty good. Had a busy work day, but that's in the rear view. Excited for the show, where we can talk some talk, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow at work. You know, trying to make my company some money. So we're chasing gains over in crypto, over on the corporate side as well. Even though it's a little tough out here, as we'll look at with some of these inflation numbers as well.
Absolutely. Times are hard here in the streets of the world in general, not just here in America, but globally. Shout out to those in the comment section. We do see you, Sean. Sullivan says Reggie Middleton owns the world. We will get into Veritasium later in the show. Then the recycling guy says, "What up? What up? What up?" In his Martin Lawrence voice. So, hey, man, it's an honor to be back here on Crypto and Down. We won't delay the show any further. If you know how we get down, let's get it.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I like you like it. I know you like watching. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Biotech will smack your head.
All right, y'all. Before we talk about Reggie Middleton, Veritasium, and the big moves being made in the crypto space, it's the top cryptocurrencies by market cap, brought to you by nomics.com, where we take a look at the top 100 gainers, global market cap, global volume, and then work our way down through the top 10 through 25, depending on how we feel and if we see any green. Yo, Jams, what's good with the top gainers?
Top gainer of the day is Quant, up 11.11%. Number 2 is Uniswap, up 8.12%. Our number 3 top gainer of the day is Neo, up 5.93%. And number 4, rounding out our top 4 top gainers of the day, is Maker, up 3.3%. Global market cap did push up above $1 trillion over the night, but has pulled back below and sits at $960 billion today, down 1%. Global volume up on a Tuesday, sitting at $334 billion, so significant volume today, although markets have pulled back. Seeing 25% increase in global volume on a Tuesday is not typical, as institutional investors do get back to work on Mondays, so we typically see our volume pull back. Bitcoin trading today at $19,126, down 0.5%, but has shown a 1% trading sideways over the last 7 days. So let's see if Bitcoin can climb back above 20,000 over the next 7 days, or will it continue to bounce between that 18,500, 19,250 range. Ethereum trading at 1330, basically trading sideways as well, down 0.5%. Number 3 coin of the day is Tether, standing strong in the 3 spot with a market cap just shy of $68 billion. USDC with a market cap below $50 billion today at 49.25. So probably some outflows on the USDC side over the last couple of days. BNB, the Binance coin, trading at $272 per coin, up 2.38% over the last 7 days, giving a bit of those gains back today. XRP trading at 44 cents. We did see some recent news from the SEC on some final judgments. Does look like they may end up winning their case with the SEC, but they really have done well over the last 7 to 30 days if you talk about the price action of XRP. Binance USD. We talked about it last week, the strength that Binance is, strength in the Binance ecosystem, with them prioritizing the BUSD stablecoin as the primary coin of the Binance exchange, and then also understanding how CZ has been positioning himself as a on the positive side of regulators. We do have some stories later in the show about stablecoins.
Yeah.
I won't get into those.
Interesting, real quick, as you're talking here, the XRP and Binance, the selling point XRP, it sounds like they've been saying, that's the banker's coin. CZ seems to have all the licensing and all that stuff done. And he's definitely, it's just interesting to see those two sitting next to each other, even though that's a stable coin over on Binance, but that may be the one that has all the money license operators around the world.
And he's been slowly working this year. FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried have gotten a lot of the attention and headlines, but CZ has continued to put in the work and start to get those regulatory approvals so that Binance becomes a legitimate exchange, not just the biggest rogue exchange in the world. Number 8, Cardano. Congratulations to the Cardano team on the successful release of the Brazil fork, trading at 44 cents today, down 1.23%. Charles Hoskinson continues to take the long route when it comes to blockchain development. It is the academic route, but it does seem that Cardano will continue to be strong through this bear market and come out as successful during the bull. A Twitter detractor we mentioned last night did say Cardano has the worst user interface of all blockchains, but nevertheless, they did have their upgrade and improvement of the Brazil fork. Solana trading at $32.88 today, down 2.94%. But Solana also has had some positive news over the last few weeks, especially with the helium news that we reported on last week as well. Dogecoin trading at 6 cents, down 0.25%, but not much has really happened as far as news in Dogecoin. If before the Elon Musk pump and dump, it was trading right at 6 cents. So we are right where we were before the last bull market.
Yeah, and I just remember this Dogecoin. We got to go back and think to January, February. Some of the top 10 coins were like predicting, like, okay, what's going to finish in the top 10? And as we're getting into the final quarters here of 2022, interesting to kind of see some of our picks here are sitting in that 15, 20, actually 20 to 10 range instead of that top 10 range. So
Polkadot not climbing as far as we expected after the parachain release and the parachain options, but Polkadot is still one of my blue chips that I would put in the premium selection part of my portfolio. And the same for Matic. Polygon and Matic continues to get positive news day in and day out about companies partnering with them to launch due to their scalability and low fees.
yeah,
We'll worry about that later on today. So Polygon Matic is another one of those that I think, like Polkadot, like Cardano, that will be around come next bull market.
yeah.
I know you love Tron, so if you want to talk about Tron, go ahead and jump in.
I mean, there's not really much to say about Tron. I haven't really messed around with Tron, honestly, in a long time. But that's one I hear. If we're talking about people who are excited about Pulse Chain, they never seem to mention Tron. And to me, those two could potentially work well together. So I think Tron has a bright future, specifically too if you think there is room for. I think it's a proof of stake. If I'm not mistaken, a proof of stake blockchain. So I don't know. I think there's space for Tron. I haven't really messed around with it in a while, but I know it's fast, it's cheap, and if you're interacting with stablecoins over there, you don't have to worry about some of the fees on other blockchains. But quickly touching on Avalanche, Matic, definitely Polkadot, Cardano. Those seem to be some of the top ones. I think both you and I agree on this. Potentially will be here and have seemed to be aligning themselves with large corporations. In Avalanche's sense, their consensus model is being used on eCash. So that's something interesting to think about, how those two chains will work together, thinking of that aspect of it. But kind of going through the top 20 here.
And I love 19
go
through
ahead.
19 through 22 is awesome. Of course, we're Hexicans, proud Hexicans. Hex trading right in that 3 cent range for the last 3 months, to be honest. And over the last 7 days, up 7.67% due to the Ethereum merge. The Ethereum proof of work Hexicans have been added. The Ethereum fair Hexicans have been added. I know we'll get into that also a little bit later, so don't want to steal that thunder. But FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, today announcing that, yes, they are going to be able to purchase Warrior Digital after bankruptcy. So they will acquire all of Warrior Digital and Mike Novogratz tiers for a bargain, and FTX is
Mike Novogratz.
their daddy. Last coin I want to talk about is Cosmos, trading at 1352. When I talk about my blue chips, Cosmos is in my blue chip collection for blockchains that I feel that are going to be successful moving forward. I don't think the will function without interoperability and an internet of blockchains, and Cosmos will be an integral part of that. I love Osmosis, their decentralized market exchange over there as well. So Cosmos, Cardano, Polygon, Matic, Hex, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the forks of Ethereum. These are some of the blue chips that I would think about adding to my potential portfolio during this bear market as we move into our next bull cycles. Nothing we say here is financial advice, just two brothers saying things publicly that we otherwise could say privately. Jay Everything says Hex, Hedron, and Icosa. Hedron being a derivative of Hex that you earn as well just by staking Hex. Icosa being a derivative of Hedron that you earn by staking Hedron. Hexicans have been making hand over foot money during this bear market due to those derivatives. There were perpetuals dropped through the Maximus DAO, the team the last week. And then something that you were paying big attention to over the weekend, Asherel, was this Ethereum Fair blockchain fork of the Ethereum blockchain network. So if you want to walk us through that, please go right ahead.
Excuse me. Honestly, not much to walk you through, but just go to etherfair.org. You can connect your wallet. Just full disclosure, I have not connected my wallet to this. What I've done is just listened to a few different. I was in a space, Twitter space, listening to some of the developers on the chain just talk about what their goals were. What I just wanted to show was where people can go access and learn more. And if you would like, just click here down at the bottom. If you don't want to connect, check out their Twitters, check out their GitHub, so you can get an idea of who's starting to interact with the chain. So as the forks merged in the past week, as far as ETHW and then this Ethereum Fair, I'm still learning the value propositions that both of them are trying to actually talk about and what their differences are. But I think it's worth checking out if you are liking Ethereum and want to kind of interact with something that's keeping the whole proof of work consensus model. The guy did mention, honestly, what I heard from one of the developers, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, what he said was NFTs, they're going to be a big deal as far as a focus. And they were setting aside funds for grants to give developers and projects. So go check out their Twitter and start following some of the people. That's what I've done, and just listening into spaces. I don't know if it's legit or if it's going to actually be here, but they seem to have had planned this for the past 4 years in regards to Ethereum Fair. So it seems like this is something they've been wanting to do. They just haven't put the marketing behind it. So there could be some activity on this chain compared to the other proof of work for Ethereum. So go check out that website if you're interested.
And Ethereum Fair, a fork of Ethereum post-merge, trading at $2.15 today. Jay Everything says, I diversify. I have Hex on all chains. Me too, my brother. I have stakes. Therefore, I have Hex on all chains, whether that be Ethereum Fair, Ethereum W, Ethereum regular. I got stakes. Therefore, I have Hex on all those chains, and I will have Hex on the post chain as well. So job well done, my brother. Cryptonomics says the title is Cap. My brother, we will get there. We knew that would be a clickbait type title, that the people would definitely want to hear our takes on the news. Feel free to jump in on that in any moment, as we got a few more things to touch on, but we will definitely get to our top crypto news story of the day.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of good stories. Exactly, and they kind of weave together, I think, a lot of our different stories, whether it's talking about FTX, Coinbase, stable coins, Reggie Middleton, and Veritasium. All right, before we get to that, not to delay, let's just look at our analytics topic real fast. All right, y'all, it is Trueflation. Go check out app.trueflation.com, or just go to trueflation.com and you can get here, where they try to look at historical Trueflation rate by kind of having a basket of categories where they look at food, housing, transport, and look at the different category growth over time frame, just to kind of see overall inflation that they're calculating, trying to use a lot more data. At September 26th, as of September 26th, they have it at 8.76%. So that's kind of on the low end as far as year to date. The highest, I guess, so far year to date has been 11.94% as far as inflation. So I just like this. This is a new tool I discovered. We'll see how we track it over, the coming months. Like to touch on it weekly just to get an idea of where are they calculating inflation in regards to health. We have a 5.51% category year over year. And utilities, an important one as we're heading into winter. That is sitting at 14.48% for the past year. As you can see, back in last October, sitting at 6.97%, all the way up where we are now, kind of close to 14%. So that is something to keep your eye on, utilities, as we're heading into the winter months.
Absolutely. And I was just digging into the 1 week data. It does look like inflation has dropped just a bit over the last week here in the US. But if we look at the UK over a 1 month period, and even just look at utilities their inflation is still over 83%. And it doesn't look like their overall inflation rate of 16% has really gotten much better. It went from 16.1 to 15.9%. So the death of the queen ultimately did not lower the inflation rate over in the UK. So rest in peace to Elizabeth. But looks like they still have.
And the monarchy ain't gonna save them this time.
Don't look like it.
Maybe the bankers will. All right, but yeah, that was check out Truflation. That's a pretty cool site, and we'll continue to check that in and check in with that to see how that holds up versus the news we're starting to see across the United States and the world as well.
Yep.
So appreciate that. All right, y'all, let's get into, you know what y'all came for. Let's get into some of the news stories as we wind our way down the crypto rabbit hole. All right. So we've talked about Veritasium before. We've talked about Reggie Middleton. What I've been waiting for, I think, is just to see how things progress with the Veritasium DAO as far as the organizer of the community taking reins and doing different things. But I saw this come across on September 26th as I was scrolling through Twitter, and I'm going to go through the highlights of some of this and just read as far as this article from Telegraph talking about, titled, "The blockchain firm sues Coinbase for $350 million, alleging patent infringement." Here, let me pull up the headline here. I'll get to that in a second. So the plaintiff Veritasium believes that other centralized and decentralized crypto exchanges may have also unlawfully used the patents to facilitate crypto payments, trading, and staking services. Not to get too much into the details and arguments about whether the patent claims hold up, but I just want to highlight some things as far as what the law firm has said, who's, I guess, placing the suit on behalf of Veritasium. So Veritasium said, according to this article, the patent revolves around the novel devices, systems, and methods, end quote, which enable parties to, quote, enforce value transfer agreements with little or no trust in each other, alleging Coinbase used this for many of its blockchain infrastructure services. So scrolling down here, the law firm also explained that the patent is applicable with proof of stake and proof of work blockchains, which could enable the transfer of cryptocurrency payments, trading, and staking services on chain supported by these consensus mechanisms. I think this is interesting because from what I've learned and as following Reggie, it seemed like the people who would be in most infringement as far as being able to go after, not I would say go after, but if you want to sue them for using your property allegedly, would be these exchanges, especially with the ones like Coinbase, which have gone public, kind of have gone through the different, certification process of the government, so are more apt to have to follow a ruling by a judge, have their financials kind of turned over. Reggie has been posting about different firms, including Coinbase and their risk. But I think we've been talking about Coinbase over the past few months as far as their stock price and how it's performed and underperformed, and kind of poo-pooing how they have done that and the value associated with that stock price. So this lawsuit and what we're facing alleged probably may have impacted that stock price, and it could impact it further. But as we're going through here, what are your thoughts on this article, actually the suit taking place, and kind of the future for Coinbase? And you can even expand that to other exchanges like FTX and some of those.
All right. So let's start with the actual petition that was filed itself. Mm-hmm. So there is a now filed court case in the United States District Court, the District of Delaware, with Veritasium Capital, the plaintiff out of Sheridan, Wyoming, versus Coinbase Global, based in Delaware. The attorneys representing Veritasium are Brundage and Stanger, and Coinbase, of course, will likely have their internal attorneys respond. Now, the nature of the action is basically an infringement on the patent, U.S. patent number 11,196,566, the 566 patent, which it is referred to moving forward. In addition, Mr. Middleton, Reggie also has a patent that was awarded by the Japanese Patent Office. So the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office issued patent 566, and the Japanese Patent Office issued 477. So an action has now been filed by the plaintiff, Reggie Middleton, on behalf of, or Veritasium on behalf of Reggie Middleton and his stated partner, Matthew Boghossian. Mr. Boghossian and Reggie Middleton are stated to be duly and legally issued inventors to this patented technology and now have claimed an infringement upon their patents, intellectual property. The attorneys representing them are backed in intellectual property law. You can go to their website, brundage-stanker.com. They have offices in New York and Los Angeles, and they have more than 30 years of corporate and intellectual property law experience. Many people said that Reggie was not going to do this over a year ago. However, as he stated on Twitter, let me make sure that I read exactly what he says correctly. Furthering my many warnings of the risks of poor due diligence, our suit includes infringement of patent claims that cover proof of stake and proof of work Ethereum, transfer of NFTs, and Bitcoin. This was public info since 2015. I've been tweeting publicly for almost a year. It should surprise no one. JG, you're stating the facts inaccurately. Brother Reggie Middleton, if I am, I'm just reporting the news. But if you definitely want to come on next week and speak your case, please do so. This is how the stories have been represented by Cointelegraph and MSN. So we do have two sources that have represented this story as such. So if this document that they have linked, document filed case CV 01253-UNA, document 1 in the United States District Court for the District of Delaware. If this is inaccurate, then please let us know, as this is exactly what has been reported. So we are here to bring the news as reported. But if you would like to refute their claims, specifically Brayden Lindra, BRAYDEN space LINDREA, please feel free to do so, as we are more than welcome to bring you onto the show to speak.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And if you would like us to read directly from the complaint, we can definitely do so. We'll bring up the complaint.
Okay, I did want to highlight, I saw it from before I pulled that up, and we can go through this guy I've been following, Wade Teamer from Digital Hustle Network, had a breakdown. So I want to get, all right, you sent me that. We can pull up the actual.
We do have the complaint as well. So I love Reggie Middleton here in the chat to
shout out to Reggie.
Speak the facts of this case. And you will be able to see the case number for yourself, as we do have the actual document. So we're not just referring on the news itself. We did review the actual case or the complaint that was filed. And there's a specific paragraph you want to point us to. We'll definitely review that. But all of these items, as far as the nature of action, are as stated. So the parties, Veritasium Capital, is an LLC company organized and existing in the laws of the state of Wyoming. So that is where Veritasium is based on this particular document filed before the court. You asked for a demand for jury trial. Coinbase Global, organized under the existing laws of Delaware. Coinbase is intentionally structured as a remote first distributed company. However, their regular established place of business is such in Wilmington, Delaware. So you've established a place to draw jurisdiction and place your claim. Understood. Nature of action. Reggie Middleton has invented novel devices, systems, and methods enabling parties with little trust or no trust in each other to enter into and enforce value transfer agreements conditioned on input from or participation of a third party over arbitrary distances without special technical knowledge of the underlying transfer mechanisms, and was awarded a patent. I read that number to you earlier and referred to that patent from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office as the 566 patent. Reggie Middleton says, Wade does an excellent job of breaking down the actual facts. He read the complaint and the background case. I suggest all to follow him. Wade, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's who I was going to pull up and show, kind of going through the highlights. But we can go through this if you want to continue.
Break it down because I do want to actually give this news its due diligence. We are a Web3 media company representing the news as it is brought not only to others but also to our own community. And having Reggie Middleton in the community to actively present the facts before us is a wonderful opportunity. So yes, let's read the complaint in full for the Crypto Rascals and the Warriors, so that if there are any misunderstandings represented in the complaint itself or in the news, we will know what the facts are as stated by Reggie Middleton. So I'm more than willing to continue. Although not the subject of this action, Mr. Middleton was also awarded a patent, as I stated, in the Japanese Patent Office 477 patent. He licensed all those rights to the patents, including the right to sue, to Veritasium, as I stated. This is an action for patent infringement, another duplicative statement. Defendant is infringing the claims of the 566, the USPTO patent, by making, using, selling, or offering to sell and importing into the U.S. products and services through its website, the home website, www.coinbase.com. That infringes the claims of 566 patent in violation of Veritasium's intellectual property rights that were granted by Reggie Middleton. The example one, providing a copy of the 566, is attached to this complaint and is incorporated herein as if fully written. Jurisdiction and venue is established where this court case will take place, and then the factual allegations. Ashrel, if you'll go ahead and jump into those factual allegations, I'll take a quick sip of breath to catch my breath. A sip to
Okay.
Sorry.
There we go. So paragraph 11, Mr. Middleton has invented novel device systems and methods enabling parties with little trust or no trust in each other to enter into and enforce value transfer agreements conditioned on input from or participation of a third party and or data source over arbitrary distances without special technical knowledge of the underlying transfer mechanisms. 12. Mr. Middleton has obtained intellectual property protection of his invention in the U.S. by the 566 patent. Continuing here. Mr. Middleton has exclusively licensed all substantial rights to his 566 patent, including the right to sue third parties for infringement of his 566 patent to Veritasium. The 566 patent that Mr. Middleton has been awarded, now exclusively licensed to Veritasium, is the utility patent as described below. Okay, let's get into number 14. On December 7th, 2021, the 566 patent entitled Devices, Systems, and Methods for Facilitating Low Trust and Zero Trust Value Transfer was duly and legally issued to inventors Reginald Middleton and Matthew Bogosian, duly and legally assigned to Mr. Middleton, and then exclusively licensed to Veritasium. Okay, and we continue. On July 3rd, 2022, plaintiffs sent defendants a letter providing notice to defendant of the defendant's infringement of the 566 patent. So July 3rd of this year was when, I guess, Coinbase, the defendant sent notice to the defendant sent a letter of notice to the defendant of the defendant's infringement of the 566 patent. So continuing, defendant had prior knowledge, should have known, or at least been willfully blind of the 566 patent. Defendant has been on notice of the 566 patent at least as early as July 3rd, 2022, if not earlier from other sources or parties. So they're saying you knew at least in July and maybe beforehand. Continuing on, defendant resides in this district and has a regular and established place of business in this district at 1209 Orange Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Defendant has conducted substantial portion of its business through said regular and established place of business in this district and has made, used, offered, and sold, and continues to make, use, offer, and sell its infringement products and services in this district. Now we're moving into, we see here, summary of the claimed invention and background. All right, you want me to continue here through paragraph 19, or you got any comments on what we just said over here? I think you're on, are you on mute?
I just want to make sure that we gave Reggie Middleton his due diligence and actually read directly from the complaint itself what is being alleged, why it's being alleged, that they were given notice on July 3rd, and that he also said on Twitter that he has been saying that this was coming for about a year. The only misrepresentation that I could have possibly spoken was something that was represented in the news, because everything that I was saying was directly from the complaint itself. So if there is any missing information, Reggie, please feel free to jump in, because I haven't heard anything new that we weren't already alluding towards. The only thing that we didn't get further into is all of the different infringements that you actually claim. We claim a lot of it. I mean, I'm not going to actually mislead the crypto rascals or the warriors. There are actually 79 allegations or claims of infringement by on the 566 patent by Veritasium. So if there is anything that we have missed out on, please let us know. But I don't think that there is. Nevertheless, let me do answer Sean Sullivan's question. How far do you think Reggie will take this? Well, as I was getting towards, he has, or Veritasium, excuse me, has gone so far as to actually hire a legitimate attorney with 30 years experience, multiple offices in multiple locations across America, to not only send a initial notice, but also to file this complaint in a venue where this has to be heard. So although the news may have mischaracterized Cointelegraph and MSN, we're here to report that this is a legal document that has been filed. If his claims are illegitimate, then that is for a judge or a jury to decide. As this is a demand for a jury trial, will it get that far? Only the attorneys can determine at this point. Nevertheless, Veritasium has every right to move forward with this based off of the USPTO documents that they have been issued. This is not a landmark necessarily case in cryptocurrency. This could be one of those cornerstone cases in cryptocurrency history, as if the courts should determine that Coinbase has infringed upon the intellectual property rights of Veritasium, not only will Reggie Middleton be correct in what he said on Twitter, that I gave you duly warning by preaching this for over a year. Brothers like Asherell, other brothers throughout the blockchain crypto space who have been Veritasium interactors will be actually redeemed for their claims. So Reggie, no, I was not here to speak down upon Veritasium or actually start beef with you. I was actually here to report the news as they reported it, and then actually provide our perspective as well. Is this a cash grab? Potentially. It's asking for $350 million worth in damages. However, Coinbase just went public. If you're going to take a swing at somebody, take a swing at the biggest guy on the block. Job well done for at least trying to hit the biggest person who is infringing upon your patent, because guess what? If they fall, then the rest of them will fall as well. If you have an argument, you can argue with Rick S. Miller and Ferry Joseph out of Wilmington, Delaware. Also, Carl Brundage and David E. Morth out of Brundage and Stanger PC. But those are the facts as of September the 22nd. Plaintiff hereby demands a jury trial pursuant to Rule 38 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure on all issues so trial. Let the courts do what they may.
Do what they do. Yeah, I think I'm kind of waiting for like news of like, all right, what's going to happen? Who are the players who are actually, going to have to pay up? And Coinbase's, I guess, affiliation with BlackRock, Circle, kind of being chosen by those powers that be. It's an interesting position that puts them in contrast against each other. So we'll see what happens from here, man. I think it's the rest of the crypto year is going to be interesting, because we can't forget about Craig Wright as well, who has and other patent holders, not just Veritasium and Reggie Middleton, but JP Morgan's and kind of, we're going to talk about this with the regulations that Congress is probably bringing in. I think there are a lot of institutional or commercial players, whether it's like Craig Wright or these banks, we'll see what have they invented in the crypto space that actually will have wide adoption and use.
Absolutely. Just a couple of the comments. Cryptonomics is saying the complaint is so vanilla. It's actually water. 30 years experience, not in crypto. Actually, some of those guys on their team, it does have blockchain experience for their website. But go research that for yourself to confirm. Armando Got Your Back says this sounds like it will make Reggie richer, but very holders still waiting. Omnibone says once the patent was issued, it will hold, especially using the Very. He will win. My only question is, in this market, knowing how vanilla it is, he isn't concerned that BTC could crash. Son Sullivan says, who owns the patent? More than one entity. And then Cryptonomics says Very holders were made whole via the SEC. This is a patent troll scam. So a big topic in the crypto space for sure. Many rascals definitely interested in this topic. I think it was great to have Reggie Middleton here in
that's cool.
To actually say many of the claims in those stories from Cointelegraph, which I thought you was on Twitter actually asking for more media companies to represent this story and actually push this out, as many Decrypt and others were actually ignoring this story. So don't attack us, brother. We actually heard just trying to put the news out for others to go out and do their research as well. And then we actually read from the complaint also. So always just give the news that the people can use when they can use it. And this was definitely a hot topic for many of the crypto warriors and rascals.
Yeah, before we go, I want to give a shout out, because I'm consuming crypto content here and there, and this guy, Digital Hustle Network, Wade Teamer, go check out his Twitter and his thread. He'll go through and do a better breakdown. I'm not going to reiterate everything that he went through here, but he has a video talking about Veritasium, and he does a really good job of not just Veritasium, but he breaks down like everything from XRP to how the CBDC and the inner workings of the financial payment system and how that affects crypto. So if you want some good insight, I know Ro Black, shout out to him, he does go into that as well. But yeah, check out Digital Hustle Network on YouTube and on Twitter. Wade Teamer, shout out to him, because I caught his content the past few months, and he does a lot of good long form documentaries and like deeper dives. So got to give the shout out to the people who are educating me out here too. So he's a good one to follow.
Definitely
as well.
And Reggie says the lead partner won a $636 million IP settlement from a Fortune 500 company. Some of you guys are hating because a brother was a brother. Hey, the facts are those are legitimate attorneys. They have legitimate offices. They actually specialize in these type of suits. So all of these claims will have to actually meet, the legal standard, their barrier, and will be actually read on their merit. So let the courts do what they do and determine whether or not Veritasium has a rightful claim to make. And if they do, hey, Coinbase got to pay up. It is what it is.
Yo, let's hit up on this article. I'm gonna come back to Brian and Coinbase because that seems to be the topic. But let's talk about FTX. We always talk about these exchanges. They're big players in the space. But FTX U.S. President Brett Harrison stepping down, shifting to advisory role. This article from Decrypt by Andrew Hayward. So he's stepping away. I saw him tweet something, and it says he's going to take an advisory position instead at FTX US. For those of you who don't know, FTX has a US version, and I think the rest of the world version, depending what VPN you're using. So here he said he plans to shift into an advisory role over the next few months as he transfers his duties and exits the role. I will be interested to see who takes over, but he joined in May of 2021 from Citadel Securities. I think I've heard that name before, to help FTX build out its U.S. presence, ultimately establishing the FTX U.S. division with a headquarters in Chicago. Okay, so here in his announcements, Brett Harrison said, I'm stepping down onto bigger and better things, but he's going to stay in an undisclosed role. So,
hey man,
he said, yeah.
There's been a lot of movement in the executive level C-suites across the crypto space over the last few weeks. You have CEO Jesse Powell over at Kraken stepping down. You have Alex Mashinsky announcing today that due to the bankruptcy case over at Celsius, that he doesn't believe that he's actually helping, but actually a distraction away from the company. He decides to resign. And then today we get an announcement that FTX U.S. President Brett Harrison is going to step down as well, shifting to an advisory role, going to stay on the team through the end of the year to make sure they get a smooth transition. But nevertheless, making sure that he's not there. But he has not announced what his next move is going to be. That only leaves room for people such as ourselves to speculate what his next move could be. You did mention something, Citadel being one of his former positions. Citadel, of course, being the home of Ken Griffith, also a major market maker based out of Miami, one that became famous during the Robinhood stunk frenzy, meme stunk frenzy back in 2021. And hell, so with the connections that he has now, FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, the San Francisco boys, then having the Citadel connections, sky's the limit of what his next move might be. I can only imagine where he will turn up next. Hopefully it's not for Zuckerberg. Give me something better than that, bro. But hey, man, lots of turnover in our C-suites over the last week, from Kraken to Celsius, now to FTX.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go public sector, private sector. Just to touch on this, Brian Armstrong, I think the theme of today is exchanges, but going public put us on the main stage. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong apparently said he's head of the largest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange and says he feels called to defend the industry. Yeah, that's kind of funny and ironic considering he's defending the industry, but it seems like you got to have a defense yourself, sir, for your actions. I have not paid much attention to him until a interview. I think he was talking to Lex Friedman. It was interesting how they got started and his idea that came out of, I think, Y Combinator. That's one of those incubators for startups, and I watched some of their videos, and they're pretty interesting on like how to solve problems, essentially, especially for entrepreneurs, business like-minded people. But talking about his growth and kind of how he's got here, from watching that, it seemed like, okay, he seemed like a cool enough dude. Maybe he didn't read the patent paperwork out there, but we've kind of killed him too for the stock price being down 84% than its all-time high price of $381 on its listing day in April 2021. So, man, I feel like after listening to him, I'm like, yo, he doesn't seem like such a bad dude, but it seems like his idea took off, and he's got to go over to the play with the big boys and BlackRock, and now it's kind of like he's between. He started this cool thing, and like he's just gonna have to ride it out.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of the coin. We were kind of joking earlier about the Veritasium versus Coinbase case with Reggie Middleton in the chat. But on a serious note, when I said that I really respected Reggie for swinging at the biggest guy on the block, even the CEO is saying, we're on the main stage. We're getting deals with BlackRock. We're getting deals with Meta and Zuckerberg. We're the first Fortune 500 company doing crypto. We can go do deals with other Fortune 500 companies. So if he walking around like Suge Knight, well, damn, you should whip his ass with that lawsuit. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of sitting back joking, like, with this story, my man walked out like Suge Knight, and somebody had to say, "Hey, man, we got Bad Boy Records over here too, and we got the patent and the paperwork. So you got to come up off some of that cheese."
Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't look as great is, do you want to kick him while he down? His stock down 84%. He already been fleeced half of investors and all of the other investors. So it's like you kicking the biggest bully while they down, but it's all good, man.
Hey, man.
He might end up being the last dude standing, to be honest. Of course, Coinbase already has other troubles with their employees and their family members being accused of insider trading. And then one of those guys already pled guilty to insider trading. So it's not actually an accusation. Mm-hmm. He actually pled guilty. So, but on the flip side, he's a tornado cash user. So it's like Coinbase ain't all bad. Yeah. I don't think Brian Armstrong really is a bad guy. I do think Coinbase has to try to thread the needle, like walk the fence. If we Texas boys, so one thing we know, if you put your nuts on the fence, that you actually get your nuts crushed. So Brian Armstrong may be a victim of sitting on the fence because you can't walk the fine line and also, want to be on your team. But either way, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like he if you get that big, you just kind of have to work with the regulators, because it's like, what else are you gonna do? And it's just, in a contrast, we see who gets treated, how people get treated differently based off of what they have. I guess they say if you can't beat them, join them. It looks like he joined them, but he still might get beat. Hey, man, and shout out to Cryptonomics in the comment section. I see Omni back and forth going hard. Shout out to Virgil. Says, what's good? Crypto Warrior checking in. Had to jump to the beginning and listening for 1.5x speed. Appreciate everybody, man. We're not here to make final determinations of what the court is going to do or not. We were here to just present the facts as we knew them. T. Wendero Griffin says, good job, Reggie. And Omnibone says, Reggie, does DGB fall under your patent also, and Hashgraph Tech, is it infringing on the patent also? I think that's referring to their Hashgraph. And Crypto Number says, I'm glad he created the suit. Now people can actually see for themselves what's up. This definitely will expose Reggie Middleton for what he is. I can't say that, man. I mean, the courts legitimize my principles or values or beliefs as a Black man in America. How could I? But I also do not disparage other Black men who want to use the system to legitimize their creations and inventions, as history has often snuck ours to the side and said, "No, y'all didn't do that," and then give it away to somebody else. So if the courts wanted to, make a determination that was in favor of Veritasium, let them so do that. I'm standing back, waiting back to see what ultimately happens. But if y'all want to argue back and forth, that's up to y'all to do. We're not here to pick sides. We're just here to report what actually is going on. Yeah. All right. Well, that was cool. We did try to live up to the title, try to put all that in. So I think now we should get to the down portion. I know we could go another hour, but we got to respect the crypto warriors out there. Give them the hard hitting
Hey, that's what
quick
they wanted, man. We still got
an
5, 6
hour.
more stories to go, man. But y'all wanted us to get into the nitty gritty. Somebody gave us 2
Hey,
weeks ago, said we only have clickbait titles that we don't actually want to dive deep into the articles. Well, there you go. You read the complaint. You
shout out to you
know
for pulling
that
that up.
Veritasium has actually filed a legitimate lawsuit against Coinbase. And hey,
And I'm gonna be real.
gotta see
Like,
him.
shout out to Wade Teamer and the Digital Hustle, because I be trying to find content out there just about different things I'm interested in, especially Veritasium. And no one's creating it, so I guess we just gotta do a dive into that. So that was cool. Thanks for pulling up that complaint for us to go through, for sure. Like we say, we just kind of spur the moment how we do it. All right, so the down part, we kind of the same themes we've been talking about. I feel like we're either talking about Russia, natural disasters, flooding. I know we were talking about, flooding. I think it was the last year, talking Australia, Sun Saifa, maybe even a few months ago. Hell, I don't even know. But let's touch about Hurricane Ian nears Cuba on path to strike Florida as Category 4. Hurricane season.
Yeah, man.
Picking up.
So this was actually one of the slowest summers on record. But of course, that ultimately means that we were going to have a very active fall into our end of hurricane season. Now, upon us, we have Hurricane Ian, which is blowing through Cuba on its way to the Florida coast. Looks like it's going to make landfall somewhere on the west coast of Florida, near Tampa Bay or St. Pete. So any crypto rascals or warriors in those areas, please know our hearts go out to y'all. Don't try to thug that out. I was looking at some radar. It does actually cover the whole state. So even if it does make landfall on the west side, you will be getting some rain on the eastern side of Florida. So I really think this is one of those, like, just go ahead and be like, hey man, we gonna take the ride up to Atlanta this weekend. We're going to, we going to Shreveport. If you guys like Baton Rouge or somewhere, Lafayette, go lock in with them, because this ain't the one. And y'all know DeSantis gonna be like, hey bro, like, you on your own, and you better get some of them fishing boats and get to going. So just wanted to make sure we said,
nah, man, yeah, Biden and Harris gonna leave him hanging.
yeah.
Biden,
Exactly. That's going to be
like
a disaster. They're going to politicize it. The people are going to be the ones that end up, losing in this situation. So don't play chicken with the train. Become a political asset of the whole Biden administration versus Ron DeSantis. The storm looks serious. The radar looks serious. So, hey, just hunker down. Or get your ass up out of there.
yo, all right, keeping up with our stories, man. The weather or Russia. Shout out to Edward Snowden. Putin grants Russian citizenship to whistleblower Snowden. Man, I remember when the whole Snowden thing came out, WikiLeaks. I was kind of like, what is this? Not really paying attention. But as over the past decade, as I've gotten more savvy of the ins and goings out of what Edward Snowden. They say he's ex Chloe, but I don't know about that. But what do you think about this move by Russia, Vladimir Putin, Edward Snowden? Oh, for those of y'all who don't know, Edward Snowden, 9 years ago, he exposed the scale of secret surveillance operations by the NSA, National Security Agency, a whole lot of spying. And I believe he was a CIA agent, Edward Snowden. Interesting there. So you think about our different national agencies and their beef going on. NSA versus CIA versus Homeland Security versus DIA. A lot of craziness.
Hey, man, so I think this is an interesting move. Of course, it's a political move at this specific time for Vladimir Putin to grant full Russian citizenship. He had already had his residency that was granted. But now he is a legitimate Russian citizen. Even the Russian citizens are making jokes like, hey, man, is he going to get called up to have to go fight the war against the Ukrainians? But I think it's a political move because I also saw our favorite snitch rat in hip hop, 6ix9ine, partying in Russia as well. And I think he said, if he died, don't bury me in America, bury me in Russia, and had the whole crowd going wild and shit. So I just think like,
You know,
they play
you know what?
political theatrics, but like people's lives and things is getting kind of out of control because if they're blowing up, and by blowing up, that could be our agencies, Nord Stream pipelines, Nord 2 in the Baltic Sea. And Putin is saying, hey, man, I'm about to rain down these nuclear bombs. Yesterday's show, we walked through the 500 Russian nuclear bombs and are like 6250, but then we got like 500 more scattered in Russia, and then, 50 in Turkey, and so on and so forth. Hey, we may not be in a new Cold War, but damn, it's starting to feel real chilly to me because it might be a cold, cruel winter, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a cold winter for sure, especially for Europe. We're definitely in financial World War III. That I think it's gonna be pretty hot, and the difference is in this war, the U.S. is probably not gonna be, I think, giving Europe as much support as we did last time. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes down.
I don't know about that. I think we still dropping off billions. They just approved like $14 billion today. Yeah, man, we still sending money. Shit, they still need bombs. That's our war. Let's see.
Oh, all right. I'm just saying for shout out to Peter Zian, he said we're about to run out of weapons to give Ukraine that they can actually use. Everything, if we give them, it's like we gotta train them for months to how to use it. So all the low grade stuff that they can, hey, take this out there in a week or two, you can use it. All that inventory is almost gone for Ukraine. So if they don't survive this winter, they'll just get grounded down and they'll lose. I think the referendum, as far as those regions that joined Russia, they decided to join Russia. So I don't know, man. I think I don't know, man. I think Europe, they're in bad shape overall. Not that Russia is in the greatest of shape, but I think they're just gonna grind them down here.
So,
Senate tests the water. What's this story?
This is the story.
Today,
Senate Democrats released their short-term government funding bill. Now, listen to that word: short-term government funding. Wouldn't that be for our government? Like, don't that?
Yes, right.
So let's scroll just down. We don't care about that. Let's talk about what's in the bill. Number one bullet point: Ukraine aid. The bill includes $12.4 billion to help Ukraine defend against Russia. Another,
whoa,
which is more than the 11.7 requested by the Biden administration. So they sent more money than he even asked for. It also authorizes the Biden administration to transfer as much as $3.7 billion more in defense equipment to Ukraine. No, this war is not over here. They just decided on the short-term government spending bill that we are going to send over another $15 billion. The bill includes $2 billion for a block grant to help communities hit by natural disasters in 2021 and 2022. So
only $2 billion, but they got $12 billion for
the up in a fire here in America. But $1 billion to pay for Americans' home heating as winter. $1 billion for y'all to stay warm. $20 million to help address the water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi. Hell, Brett Favre got $5 million to build a damn volleyball net. Get the fuck out of here, man. FDA. Under the bill, the FDA will be authorized for 5 years to collect user fees. Would have included. The FDA started collecting user fees. Okay. Afghan refugees. The bill includes money to help smooth the resettlement of refugees, but they don't say how much though. The White House has requested $1.5 billion for emergency uranium purchases to ease reliance on Russia, but that was left out. They wanted to fight $22 billion to fight COVID and $4 billion to fight monkeypox. They said, hell no, y'all ain't fighting monkeypox. All y'all dying. They said, money for monkeypox. We got to spend all our money, $12.4 billion to Ukraine. Get the hell out of here, man. Okay, bro. I don't want to read that article no more because
I'm just saying, man, them biolabs over in Ukraine. I don't know, man. They may have sent out some of this stuff out here that we're dealing with.
Short-term government spending bill. They said no money for monkeypox, no money for COVID. Y'all get $1 billion to stay warm. $2 billion because y'all houses burned down. So, like we said on Hurricane Ian, get your ass out the way, or you're gonna be a political pun. They don't have no money for you. They only have money for the Ukrainian war. That's what they just said in the bill today. The news that you use.
Dang. All right, appreciate that. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody in the chat. It's been a pleasure going through, seeing y'all been cracking me up over there. Cryptonomics. Yeah, I might have to go get a new mic. You're right. I'll have to go do that this weekend. So appreciate the feedback there. Definitely want the audios to come out crystal clear as possible. But Jams, you got anything else before we get out of here? It's been a great show. We went through a lot. We'll see where Veritasium, Coinbase, and the crypto industry goes with patents and their use and the actual judgments coming down from the courts. We'll see what happens. Shout out to everyone. Be safe out there against this hurricane. Hopefully we'll try to get in the streaming again. You can check us out, like we said, on our own YouTube channel, Crypto and Down. You can check us here Tuesday nights, usually from anywhere from 6 to 8 Central. Crypto and Down, Gentlemen of Crypto show as well.
Hey, man, last words for me. It was an honor and a pleasure to lock in again on Crypto and Down, episode 118 over on the Crypto and Down channel. Episode 17 here on the Gentlemen of Crypto. Appreciate all the crypto warriors that stayed in with us. Appreciate all the crypto rascals. Reggie Middleton, thank you for dropping in the comment section and allowing us to chop it up and actually review the complaint itself and give you the opportunity to refute any claims that were made in the MSN and Cointelegraph article. We only can bring the news as it is brought, but this is live, direct, uncut, and if you think we were faking, flogging, or bullshitting, see somebody else, baby. Love you, Asherelle. We're gonna hey, he hit it too quick, but love you, Asherelle. We're gonna keep doing what we do. Y'all have a good night. Hug your family. Love everybody. Peace.